Hello, mole people. I am back, and with this video, I'm bringing back new movie reviews. So get ready for more of those. Coming up, I hope to do The Woman in Black next time around. But right now, I'm talking about The Artist. That's from 2011. It's a film directed by Miguel Hajavikas. Also, it's starring Jean Dujardin and Bernice Bijou, and John Goodman. How do you pronounce that name? Oh well, weirdo French people. Anyway, I saw this last week, I think, with Lindsay, and I gotta tell you right now, never been the biggest fan of silent films. I mainly enjoy horror films from the silent era, you know, with Nosferatu and Phantom of the Opera, and even that really awful Frankenstein from that's like 11 minutes long, and you know, I still enjoy the hell of it. And then of course Metropolis, which is with sound, with no sound, is a brilliant fucking movie, and you should totally see that. Well, The Artist is just that. It's a silent film, and I'm pretty sure it's the first silent film since Mel Brooks' silent movie back in the 70s, which starred him, Dom DeLuise, and I think Burt Reynolds was in that. Yeah, and Marty Feldman. Quick trivia on that film. There's only one line of dialogue in the whole movie, and it's spoken by the mime Marcel Marceau, which is hilarious. And this film, it takes place during the years 1927 to I think 32, which was basically the end of the silent era. For the most part, sound was just coming in, and we have a film star, and his name is George Valentine, and he is a big, huge star. You know, his movies just like make tons of money, and he's always, what's funny is he's always doing the same thing. No matter what kind of movie he's in, he's always got his dog sidekick, which is hilarious. Anyway, he's a big egotist. He's really full of himself. He's on top of the world through maybe almost the first half of the film, really. And he falls in love with this young actress named Peppy Miller, and she's played by Bergeau, and she couldn't be more charming. And he, of course, is married to actress Penelope Ann Miller. Actually, she's got a small film, and their marriage is crumbling. You can see it in the first scene, and they instantly fall in love. It's very obvious from the first meeting. She's an extra in one of his films, and he's just completely like, he keeps screwing the take up because he's just completely mystified by her, and she's totally charmed by him as well. And that's a wonderful sequence where it's supposed to be him cutting across a dance room floor, and she's one of several people he's supposed to, you know, dance with, you know, very quickly, and he's just like, hey, I'm still dancing with you, and they're like, oh yeah, we're shooting a movie, shit. And John Goodman is in charge of this studio, and he's the big director, you know, in charge of everything. This is the way it worked back then. You know, the guys who own the studios, ran the films, they were the bosses, and they pretty much run the whole thing. What's interesting is the film, we see the decline of his career because he is a huge silent film fan, a silent film actor, and talkies come in and boom, that's it. It's like a fell swoop when you look back. I mean, well, the first time anybody could hear people talk, they're like, well, fuck these silent movies, let's watch movies where people talk, like you and me. And it's well known that a lot of silent film stars just didn't make the cut, sometimes unfairly, sometimes fairly. And Peppy Miller plays a young actress who kind of like jumps in and becomes one of the studio's favorite actresses. So she's obviously brought in to be one of their big, you know, talkie stars. And so at the same time, her career is actually really taking off. And then we see him just he just won't let go of the past, and he just is too stubborn to accept the change. So it's partly his own fault with the decline of his own career. Meanwhile, his wife leaves him. He sinks the last of all his money into a film, and one last silent film, which he hopes will continue on his career as a silent film star and prove maybe he's right. And it bombs, and he sinks all his money into it, and the depression didn't help either. By the way, not a big helper there. Depression, and we just see him slowly decline. And the relationship between him and her is so touching, because she doesn't really become really ruined by the whole thing. We never have this sequence where she becomes really totally like jaded and ruined by the whole system and such like that. She is who she is through the film, and she's totally in love with him and just hates seeing what has happened to him, and he hasn't accepted it. Of course, I won't really give too much about how it ends. I really fell for this film, I gotta tell you. There's a few things I gotta say. The performances by the lead actress. The lead actors are French actors, and wow, boy, are they really good. They really understand silent acting and the way it's performed. And there's so much said. There's this wonderful sequence where she comes across one of his coats and sort of sticks her hand in it and acts like she's holding him. It's really touching, and the dog is actually a wonderful performer. And also some of the actors in the film. There's a lot of American actors in this film, like John Goodman, Missy Pyle, and they just and Penelope and Miller, and they all work very well, and they all seem to understand. What's great is this is shot and acted like a silent movie of that time, except the production values are really good, and frames tend to feel like there's this wonderful scene where George and Peppy are talking on the stairways, and everybody's just moving around and all that shit. Man, it really does have that kind of old feel to it. And I have to say, it's really touchingly romantic. It's funny, and it's very romantic. And I've been thinking recently. I've been considering doing a video about this subject, but I'll just mention it here in the video. A lot of romantic comedies these days suck, and I've noticed I really enjoy old romantic comedies, not like from the 80s. I'm talking about from the 30s and 40s and shit like that. And I can't figure out what are these old movies doing right where the new ones are doing incorrectly. And I feel like I've put my finger on it. Modern romantic comedies aren't romantic. They're cynical. And they all pretend like they're going to tell you the real deal behind love and romance and relationships. And every woman in the film is a bitch, and every guy in the film is an asshole, and then they're supposed to fall in love, and we're supposed to get that kind of cutesy ending anyway. But we hate these people. Why do we give a fuck if they give any kind of love towards each other? This film reminds me that you need to inject romance, and romance isn't just simply lovey-dovey fuck shit. Romance is like a glorification of something that you want to shine a light on, that you find is beautiful, and they just. It's just romantic films are just way too cynical to really sell that idea these days, and you didn't really get any of that in old films. And this film really does, and without, it does seem to be self-aware of the period and self-aware of people, but still it doesn't undercut itself with cynicism, and it never does that in any part of the film. And oh my god, it's just a really wonderful film. If you are if you're skeptical of silent movies, I don't blame you. I'm not the biggest fan of them either, but holy crap, you will just want to watch this film over and over again. I highly recommend it. It's 5 ram chips from me. Go see it. Don't let it. Don't be worried about Oscar buzz and shit like that. Oh, this is an arty film. No, 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 no. Fuck that shit. Go see it. It's really wonderful. Push the button, Lindsay.